Dastan, thank you very much for joining us today. Kazatomprom recently came out with a production plan for 2025, whereby it will increase production volumes to 100% of the subsoil agreement. And I want to examine the significance of this. What is the expected production for 2023, and what is the expected production for 2025?
Greetings, James. Hi, very happy to see you as usual. Thank you very much for your question, for your interest, and let me briefly explain the reasons behind such a move. So this was done in line with our strategy and taking into account the constantly changing environment surrounding the mine development and the production constraints. Well, as per our latest guidance, our 2023 production volumes will remain roughly at around 20,500, 21,500 tons of uranium. So that would be 10.6, 11.2 thousand attributable to Kazatomprom, and which is still below our 20% of our total subsoil use contracts. So the current geopolitical and supply chain challenges have resulted in limited access to certain key operating materials and equipment, and this already had an impact on companies' well-field development and production schedules in 2023. So in the year 2024, we might face similar supply chain issues, and there are always risks associated with production, especially under current geopolitical environment. And our plan to resume the full mode of subsoil use contract production volumes in 2025 is actually consistent with our market-centric approach and is principally motivated by our robust contract book and our negotiations with our customers. We also need to keep in mind that the press release that we had regarding the 2025 refers to the subsoil use contract nominal volumes from the CPR report that has been published back in 2021. And the actual production volumes may differ from that number based on the extraction rates, access to required material, and all the supply chain disruptions and so on. So the more accurate guidance for 2025 would be provided in early 2025 upon publishing the trading update for fourth quarter of 2024.
So there's a lot to unpack there, but I just want to clarify one point. So 2023 guidance is 20,500 tons, and 100% of subsoil in 2025 will be 30,500 tons, which is an increase of 50%. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And will this additional tonnage, will that be for sale, or has it already been contracted?
Well, I cannot disclose such information, but just to give you some color on the thing, we would like to take the advantage of the expanding market, and we continue to optimize our sales based on the current market circumstances, with an emphasis on end-user utility contract connected to the market prices. So one of the reasons to ramp up the production in 2025 that we're seeing a positive signal both from our current clients and the market. So majority of 2025 increase already falls into established commitments, but our current contract book provides us with sufficient confidence that the additional volumes in 2025 will have a secure place and will be ready to fulfill some future contract obligations as well.
And you touched on this earlier, but moving to maximum production or 100% of subsoil is all driven by the contract book. And I'm just curious what you're seeing there. Maybe you can speak to your contract book and what you're seeing, and where is the additional demand coming from? Is it coming from Asia, Europe, North America?
Well, as I've said, this information is commercially sensitive, but as you can naturally deduce from the ongoing geopolitical situation, everyone is concerned with the security of supply, and we as Kazatomprom stepped up to ensure that and be able to accommodate all the needs of our clients.
And going from 20,000 tons up to 30,000 tons will require a lot of capital. Maybe you can discuss what the capital requirements are to ramp up to 100% of subsoil, and also how Kazatomprom will fund this ramp up.
Yeah, just once again, this is a commercially sensitive information that that we cannot disclose, and we cannot disclose the exact figures for capex. But it's also very hard to say that what it will be exactly in 2025. So you can see from our 2023 guidance, the capex is higher than it was in 2022. And that is because of the expected increase of production in 2024, which will be at +10 already compared to 2023. So in order to increase the production in 2025, we'll have to complete all the preparatory work, drilling, well construction, all these things, and budget those costs in 2024. But it's also worth mentioning that in 2025, quite substantial portion of production is expected from the Budyonovskaya mine. The capex for development which has already been included in 2023 capex program. But we'll provide the more actual guidance for 2024 in early 2024 when we publish the OFR, operational financial results for 2023.
Dastan, Yellowcake recently exercised its option to take delivery of 1.3 million pounds. And in addition, Kazatomprom also has agreements with ANU Energy to supply uranium. Is Kazatomprom negotiating any similar deals with any other financial players?
Unfortunately, we do not disclose any information relating to our transaction or hedging strategy and current commitment levels. But we are witnessing an increasing interest from financials towards the uranium industry, and there are some newcomers from financial sector, and they're opening new uranium funds. So there is a high level of interest.
I want to move the discussion now toward transportation. There's been a lot of rumor and innuendo online, and I just want to clarify this. Currently, any pounds that are going from Kazakhstan to the west go through the port of St. Petersburg. Are there any issues with transporting pounds through the port of St. Petersburg? Are you still transporting pounds without any issues?
Absolutely. Our corridor through St. Petersburg is functioning well. There has been no disruptions amidst all the speculations, and we hear them on a constant basis, but everything is working well and fine. I want to assure that the route is perfectly capable of handling all the shipments, and we've already carried out several shipments this year.
And we should also just touch on the Trans-Caspian route. If there are any issues, this is still a viable alternative. Are you still using this, and have there been any challenges with doing so?
No, not really. We're working tirelessly. Kazatomprom is working tirelessly to make sure that Trans-Caspian International Route has the capacity to handle larger volumes for the company and our joint venture partners. And also, we do not have a cap on the volume of transportation. The nature of the route and the cargo does offer certain requirements, and we are working to address this with the passing countries, like transit countries. And there has been some concerns over the safety during the escalation of the conflict on the transit territory, but the railway we utilize does not surpass through the territory that involved any conflict or so. So we've made several shipments through Trans-Caspian route already, and as we have informed everyone during the WNA transfer group, 70% of the uranium coming to the Western markets from Kazakhstan will be delivered through Trans-Caspian International Route.
So I just want to clarify that one point. 70% of all product going to Western customers will go through the Trans-Caspian route?
Yes.
Dastan, as we wrap up, what news can we expect from Kazatomprom as we head into year end? Can we expect any announcements of any large contracts?
Well, you have to wait for yourself, but in terms of the market itself, it is probably safe to say that we're seeing great conditions in terms of supply and demand fundamentals. We're seeing a lot of interest from the financial players and from the uranium mining companies and physical uranium funds. So overall, the global support for nuclear energy is increasing, and the policy levels from countries and all these things, they're just progressing and enhancing themselves. So it is safe to say, it is fair to say that the nuclear industry is blooming right now. And we as Kazatomprom, as the world's biggest uranium producer, are happy to be the part of this incredible journey.
Hey, Dastan, in spite of the volatility that we've seen in the month of October so far, you and your team are still very bullish on nuclear energy and also uranium going forward.
Yes, absolutely. We have strong faith in long-term fundamentals of the uranium market and the nuclear industry in general.
Well, Dastan, that was a great conversation and a great overview of what's happening at Kazatomprom, and especially with your production numbers for 2025. And I want to thank you for making the time with us today.
Thank you very much, James. Always a pleasure. You have a good day.